I'm here at Tom Tom Studio and Gallery with the artist and owner, Tom Pardue, who is painting a mural next door on Nance Plaza downtown as part of the revitalization of the area effort called area known as 5 Points. So Tom, what's your background as an artist?
I started drawing at a pretty young age. I want to say I was uh, probably about 5 or 6 years old, uh, doing fire safety contests and things like that. And I ended up, my father was military, so on the base, whoever won, they would kind of put that up kind of in the center of the base, kind of this roundabout in the center of the base. And so that was once I saw my name up there, I was hooked. I was the youngest of three kids. I definitely got in trouble a lot. My father at the time bought an Encyclopedia Britannica set, a Funk and Wagnalls encyclopedia set from a door-to-door salesman. And it happened to be in my room, and being a troublesome child, I spent a lot of time in my room. So the only thing that I could do was go through the encyclopedia, and I would draw every illustration on the page going from A to B to C. So if it was an anvil or an aardvark or an anteater or whatever, I would just draw it. And I went through the entire set. And that's how I kind of started. Earlier, some uncles of mine worked at DC Comics, and whenever I would come over, they would draw me masks of characters that they were trying to create and bring to market. But mostly they were inkers. They would just ink other people's characters, Batman, whatever. So that was really intriguing for me, and so that took me through my elementary school years, taking art classes, and into my high school years where I was still taking art classes. And one of my favorite teachers, an old gentleman named Mr. Farrow, he was the teacher that had the whiskey in his coffee cup, and everyone knew it. But
I remember a guy like that.
But he really allowed you to kind of not hinder the creative part by stigma and what your mind thought was appropriate and what your socially was telling you was right or wrong or whatever. But you block that out, because that's the killer of any kind of creativity, is once you start putting all these filters and stuff like that on it, then what you have left is something that wasn't yours to begin with. And so once I learned how to do that, I started painting a lot more. I lived in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, started doing some shows in Coconut Grove at some pretty established galleries, and did my ups and downs. Had shows where I sold nothing, and had my shows where later on where I did pretty well and started to develop a name for myself in that area. And that's a pretty tough area. Really, really talented Romero Brito and lots of great artists down there. And then I moved here. I was a musician and had to deal with Sony Records, and the home base was here, so I traveled up here and started bringing my slides and my prints to some of the art galleries around here, and no one would give me the time of day. Everyone thought that I was just not for this area whatsoever. And where most of the artists here were doing landscapes and watercolors and things like that, which I'm not knocking, I was a lot more left field. And so couldn't get a show, couldn't get anyone to sponsor me for a show, anything. Then a gentleman named Calvin Blassingame, who is a caricature artist, but also a great artist on his own merit, started a group called the Round Table, and that was over 10 years ago. And we've done convention center shows, we've done shows at the university, shows at Broadway, shows at Market Commons, all for charity. Great fundraiser for art teachers who couldn't afford supplies, to boys and girls homes, feed the hungry, things like that. So that was a great exposure for a lot of people that just weren't getting it here at the beach. There was no place for anyone to show that would be accepting. And that's how the name Tom Tom kind of came around. Was I would use that as an author, use the pen name. So that allowed me to do whatever it is that I wanted to, and however controversial or distasteful or what have you, and it kind of be on Tom Tom's back and not on mine, which was great, and I still use it to this day. I used to hand out candy bars, and I would change the wrappers to Tom Tom candy bars and have all my information on the back of the candy bars. And of course, I wouldn't serve any with almonds or nuts in it because I didn't want to be responsible for anyone getting sick. And then I started moving into glasswork. I've done etched glass and stained glass now for over 10 years. It's been really, really good for me. I think I'm the only etched glass artist in town. I do business with all the other glass companies here in town. So, as opposed to having that competition, as business peers, I think that we all have a respect for each other. Myself and Eddie Streeter and his wife in Conway share that in common, that we've done both sides of the glass business, where we've operated as a straightforward glass company, installing showers and mirrors and tabletops and broken windows and things like that, and it takes you a while to move into the art side of things, because obviously business takes over and business has its own needs to stay alive. So now at this juncture, I'm able to kind of move into my own. I've been in this space now for about 2 years, and I've probably been the most creative that I've been in quite a few years in here. Doing my own paintings, doing sculptural works out of recycled materials, doing the murals. When I first got here and I couldn't show at any galleries, the first thing that I did was just start painting murals for people, and that was kind of my way of staying active and still doing that. Not an airbrush artist, so I couldn't go down the boulevard and airbrush, Nancy Lowe's, whoever. And didn't want to, honestly, didn't want to. I use a lot of different mediums, from charcoal to pastel to acrylic paints to recycled, repurposed materials are some of my favorite. But I get some jobs from restaurants, salons, other businesses, private residences, and it's gone from somewhat local celebrities, from ex-football players to celebrity golfers to well-known restaurants and bars around the beach. So.
Well, we look forward to the unveiling of your mural.
Me too.
A week from Saturday, the 24th.
On my face?
Which is it's going to be a big street fair here at Nance Festival, 9th Street, downtown.
Yeah.
And everybody come and see it. Thanks, Tom. Fascinating.